Hi and welcome to another installment of Nathan's Beer Reviews. Today we're going to be looking at Cooper's Pale Ale, a 4.5% alcohol by volume, 1.3 standard Australian drinks, Australian style pale ale, brewed by the Cooper's Brewery in South Australia, Australia. The Cooper's Brewery is one of Australia's largest breweries. It's actually Australia's third largest brewery, but Australia's largest all-Australian owned brewery. With Carlton United and Lion ahead of it, but they're owned by big multinational companies. Lion, of course, owned by Kirin / Mitsubishi. Carlton United owned by Anheuser-Busch, InBev, SAB Miller, that sort of sortium of companies. So yeah, Cooper's brew a range of about 6 or 7 beers all year round, with a couple of seasonal yearly ales that they release. But by far their most famous and popular beer would definitely be their Cooper's Pale Ale, which comes in this brown stubby with the green label. Cooper's Pale is brewed and fermented using a unique method of top fermentation and natural bottling conditioning. Coopers are famous for this process, which leaves a natural residue of yeast during maturation and gives a cloudy appearance with an enhanced flavour. Aside from that, there's no other information about the beer on the bottle. Brewed and bottled by Cooper's Brewery Limited in Regency Park, South Australia. Unlike most beers which have a best before, this has a best after, which was 4th of the 5th, 2018. They come in these iconic stubbies. At this point in the review, I should probably mention that Cooper's Pale Ale is my favourite Australian beer. It's my go-to beer. It's the beer I usually drink down at the pub. It's the beer I usually buy by the carton and just have sitting in the fridge. And I'll get more into why it's my favourite beer later on in the review. I can tell you that on their website they list the ingredients as malted barley, hops, water, yeast, with the malted barley grown and malted in South Australia, something which Coopers are very proud of. And the hops that they use in the beer are Pride of Ringwood, which is a pretty common hop variety that is found in most Australian mass-produced beers, especially practically all of our adjunct lagers that are produced by Carlton United Breweries and Lion. It comes in at 145 calories per bottle, so it's the perfect after-gym protein shake. Probably not, but health tip. Maybe. But yeah, aside from that, there's nothing else I can really say. It comes in this 375ml brown bottle. So let's crack it open. Good smoke on the opening there. So one of the reasons I do like Coopers is they haven't changed anything over the last few years. The only thing they've changed is the actual shaping of the bottle. The Cooper's stubbies used to be quite short and fat, or a lot fatter than this. And a few years ago, they just slimlined it, but they kept the size at 375 mils, and they also kept it at 4.5% ABV. We've seen a trend with Australian beers, not just Australian beers, a lot of products, chocolate, chips, anything really. Companies are trying to save a buck by, reducing the size, reducing the alcohol in it, and just generally pissing off their customer base. So we'll pour the rest of it in. Now, bartenders will often roll the bottle along the ground, or along the bar top, sorry, not along the ground. And that'll shake up the sediment in the bottle. I've forgotten to do that, so I'll just swirl it around. Because this is, as I mentioned, has secondary fermentation in it. So there's plenty of yeast at the bottom of the bottle here. But that is looking actually quite a tasty beer. This glass I picked up as a promotion a few years back when I worked in a pub. They were giving away one of these glasses with every 6-pack of Cooper's Sparkling Ale, which I'll get around to reviewing in the coming weeks. And after the review, after the promotion happened, I just took a glass home because why not? So appearance, it pours this beautiful golden yellow. Almost orange-like, mandarin skin-looking orange. with a fairly rapidly dissipating one finger of very foamy, soapy, suddy looking white head. The cloudy is very cloudy beer. You can't see through it. Very hazy beer. Lots of yeast, lots of sediment in the bottle. The smell, classic Pride of Ringwood hop smell. Very floral, very citrusy, lemon peel, orange peel, bit of mandarin perhaps. White bready yeast. It smells like a very refreshing pale ale. I'm wearing my Australian Socceroos kit. Australia plays Lebanon tonight out at ANZ Stadium in a friendly. Tim Cahill's last game for the Socceroos. If you don't know who Tim Cahill is, he's an Australian footballer. He's played over 100 games for Australia, scored 50 goals for Australia, including 5 at World Cups over the last 4 World Cups. So he's a bit of an Australian legend. It's his farewell game. He's retiring from international football after this game, so I thought I'd have a few drinks before we head out and celebrate an iconic Australian sports player. So let's get on with it. Cheers, guys. Quite smooth. Thin to medium body. Medium carbonation. Sweet malty front. That citrus aroma is coming through very much in the mouth. Definitely lemon, definitely orange, bit piney, pine note. Had a fairly bitter finish. It's not incredibly bitter. It only comes in at 24 IBUs. But extremely refreshing. Definitely got a bit of a yeasty residue to it, courtesy of the sediment. That sort of bulks up the body of the beer a little bit, but very floral, extremely refreshing, as I mentioned earlier. The orange and lemon citrus notes are very strong in Cooper's Pale Ale. The reason why I fell in love with this beer, I think it's just so easy drinking. When I first started drinking when I was 18, I was an avid pure blonde drinker. I was 18 years old. I was working as a labourer for a friend's dad at the time, just to earn a few bucks out of high school. And we were at the Christmas party, and I'd cleared the esky out of pure blonde, and I was looking for something else, and someone threw me a Cooper's, and I was a bit hesitant to try pale ale. I was 18, I didn't have a lot of funds. I wanted to branch out in beers, but I didn't have a lot of funds. And I didn't want to go out buying 6 packs of beer and cases of beer that are, $25, $30. I need to not like them and essentially waste, good money on beer I don't like. So, I was 18 years old. I didn't know, much about beer at the time. I still don't. But yeah, someone threw me a Cooper's at the party, and I fell in love with it. I think the citrus fruitiness really spoke to me, and it's just an outrageously refreshing beer all year round. It's not incredibly hoppy. The Pride of Ringwood isn't overly strong like it is in some of Australia's macro lagers, but it's definitely there. And it's got a nice dry finish to it, courtesy of the hops. A sweet, fruity, piney, citrusy front sip. By the time the beer moves to the back of the throat, that bitter, dry finish comes forward, and it just makes for a great sessionable beer. Like I said, this beer is always in my fridge. I've always got a carton of this, within reach. If I go to a party, it's what I take a 6-pack of too, or a carton. If I'm hosting a party, I'll always load up the esky with these because, I've got a lot of friends that drink them. I also find it's Cooper's is a great entry beer into the craft beer scene. Like I mentioned, you know, I was a bit hesitant to try craft beers. I was a bit hesitant to try pale ales as a youngster. You know, I was worried I wouldn't like them. And this is a great entry beer for the pale ale scene here in Australia. You know, it's not overly hoppy. It's not overly bitter. It's not going to Mike Tyson punch you in the face with hop flavors and 30 different types of hops in it. It's not so bitter you're going to be pulling a whiskey face after every mouthful. It's really, really easy drinking. And it makes it an excellent sessionable beer. And that's why I like Cooper's. They also don't muck around with their promotion of the beer. You know, there's no real big television ads for the beer. They might throw an ad on the back of a bus or on a bus shelter for Cooper's every now and then, once a year or something. But it's not like an overly extravagant ad. It's just simple, basic, and to the point, and I respect that. A few beers ago, I reviewed Wild Yak, and on the back of the label, it described the beer as the hop flavors sung out like a forest full of parakeets or something, a forest full of parrots, you know, something extravagant like that. And you know, well, the beer certainly didn't live up to the hype of the beer label. You know, and sometimes I feel the big macro lagers, you know, try and hire, you know, publicists and promotion artists who just scour dictionaries and thesauruses looking for words to hype the beer up that, you know, essentially just overkill the beer. And Coopers don't do that, you know. It's a very simple beer bottle, very simple label, and it tells you on the label what the beer is, you know. It's brewed and fermented using top fermentation and natural bottling conditioning, and it's famous for this process which leaves a natural residue of yeast during maturation. Like, it just tells you what the beer does. It tells you how the beer drinks. It doesn't go overboard. And then the beer itself is just easy drinking. It's really delicious, very sessionable. And it's just grown to be my favourite beer. I think we all have a favourite beer, and I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm not being paid by Coopers to promote this beer. You know, if they want to throw me some money, I'm not going to say no, because, you know, we've all got bills to pay. But, you know, I'm not being paid. This isn't a paid promotion. But, you know, I'm just telling you what I like about this beer, and that's what I like about this beer. And that's why it's my favourite beer. It's a great little beer. Anyway, I'll wrap this review up by saying please subscribe to my channel if you like my reviews. Comment down below if you like Coopers or if you don't like Coopers. Tell me why you like it. Tell me why you don't. And also throw me a comment if you want me to review one of your favourite beers. I'll try and, you know, source it and find it. Even if it's not available in Australia, I'll do my best to find it. And we'll see you in the next review. And I'll finish this by saying enjoy responsibly, but have fun, because no good story ever started with a bottle of lemonade. Really, lemonade's nice, but, you know, since when did lemonade turn into a good party story? So, cheers, guys, and I'll see you in the next review.